Alright, let me just take a sip of water. I call this piece, Nobody Cares. Have you ever noticed how quickly people disappear from your life forever? I must have been naive to think that by being in the same classroom as a peer for 18 years of life would equate to a friendly interaction upon reuniting with them after years of separation. Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. I guess the truth is that the system forced us to occupy the same space for several years during childhood. And some people will like you, and others just won't. Some people will remember you and reconnect with you with a smile, and others just won't. I began talking to an old childhood peer about my life recently when I was living in my hometown, and he just looked at me and said, "Who cares?" Although he appeared to be a bit drunk and high at the time, I was still a bit taken back by the remark. Upon seeing him, he chanted my name with glee, and I brought him in for a one-armed hug. He shared a detail about his life, and I shared a detail about mine. Perhaps he was taken back by my lack of response. But who cares, though? That's a bit of a harsh thing to say to someone who you spent 18 years of your childhood with, isn't it? I suppose he's right, though. At the end of the day, the system made us do it. And some people will like each other, and others won't. Whether it be at school or work. We're all just here for the paycheck. I became coworkers with one of my fellow high school students, and she barely even acted like she knew me. It was as though every conversation we had back in the day had been removed from her memory. I don't blame her, though. Perhaps life had thrown her one too many curveballs. You never truly know what someone has been through in life, after all. Another customer eating at a table of a restaurant I was working for was someone who I recognized to be a girl who I took the same bus to school with for 17 years. So I came over to her and said, "Hello." And of course, she didn't have anything to say back to me. Just nothing. Just silence. I think it's sad how the system takes human beings and turns them into workers who merely just perform for money. Perhaps I have always longed for something deeper. A genuine connection. A connection that lies beyond the superficial expectations of society. The only problem is, anytime I do make a genuine connection, we are always too busy making money to actually hang out regularly. Still though, merely just a gear in the machine is all your boss sees you as. a forgotten memory is all you are to a peer who didn't like you. Hey, I was fantasizing that we could put all our differences aside and focus on baptizing the demons out of the ruling class. However, the majority of us just fall in line. Until the collective consciousness rises to the point that we identify the problem and create a solution, we will forever be bred and raised to be second-hand sociopaths, just the way they want us to be. No genuine connection, no divine spark, no creativity, and no uplifting the human spirit. Just an endless cycle of making money until selfishness, greed, a desire for control, and a hunger for power forces us to meet our own destruction. Throughout my life, I have learned to stay away from people who don't have my best interests at heart. I have performed for the approval of people who never really seemed to care as much as I did. Truthfully, I can't even blame them. Maybe the money did it to them after all. Maybe the world turned them into a shell. All that I know is that your coworkers aren't really your friends. In another world, though, I would have been. In a world that cares more about you than what you can do for me, I would have been the best friend that you could have ever asked for. With that being said, I wish you all a great night and an even better tomorrow. E.T. out.